let's try this again. Now I think we're back. Now I think we're good. All right. Webcam's live. I'm actually showing my boards. Cool. Okay. Um, I truly don't know where we crashed. So whatever. Let's uh to wrap up game two. Game two ended really annoyingly. I obviously got stabbed hard. It won Johnny the game. Totally legit. Can't blame them for going for it. I think Johnny after the game agreed with me that like it's not even clear it was best for them to do that though. Like I truly think that like if we were willing to play it to like 1912, I think Johnny and I could have like been something like 14-10 on that board. Like Johnny would get more points, I would get a lot more. I would have got a lot more points, but I think Johnny would have got more points by sticking with working with me and just like tried to run over the rest of the board. I think the position would have allowed that. I mean, maybe everybody allies together and bands together in time to like make it work, but I'm not totally sure how it works. I mean, maybe England gets too much if we do that, so like whatever. But yeah, I really don't know what my other options were in that game. Like, I really wasn't given allies early. Austria was like crazy vindictive against me, given that I do not think I was the one that slowed them down. Like, we agreed to bounce in Galicia. The bounces in Tyrol are what killed them, and Italy taking an early Trieste in Serbia is what killed them. I did not kill them, so I don't know why they attacked me so hard and so fiercely to their like dying gasps. But that was awful for me. Turkey never really working with me until like yeah, kind of toward that mid game when they kind of had to, so that I could establish the line against Germany. But then always having the upper hand against me, like just a frustrating game of not actually having allies and wishing that I did have just an ally because that board again was like one where like if two people just allied and pushed hard, they would have done really well. The scoring system rewards it, etc. So that was unfortunate, but Johnny got a great result, played really well. Can't blame them for stabbing me, and I yeah I felt like I didn't. I felt like I had a bunch of bad options. Um, um, so yeah. Okay, game three. So game three, I get seated at an insanely good table. Um, game three, I get Austria, which I generally enjoy playing Austria. I mean, yes, you can get destroyed early, but like I think there's a lot of fun things. Austria's kind of the center. You can play around a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of diplomatic opportunities, and like if you can get going, like it can go really well. Anyhow, I went up at a table with Peter Jurgen, who is a DipCon champion, Doug Moore, who's a multiple-time DipCon champion and has like a couple second places, McCallus, who like wins multiple tournaments and is very well known and is very good, and Karthik, who also has won multiple tournaments and is very good. Darcy and Robert are certainly good players. Everybody at this thing was good players, but this table was insanely strong, very wild. But early on, I'm enjoying working with Karthik. Karthik's very enjoyable to work with. He agrees strongly with like we just need to ally and push and grow fast. Like the scoring system rewards it. Like he seems very on board with what I want to do. He seems to like what I'm saying. Like I feel like we have a good rapport very early on. Austria and Italy, I think, generally should stick together. Like if they kill each other, I think it usually benefits other players more than themselves. Karthik agrees. Everything looks great. Seems great early. The other thing I loved about working with Karthik is like he's pretty fast. It's like we meet, we talk, we hit the important shit, and like we both have time to like talk to others, which I really like. I like bouncing around, talking to everybody, getting some insights from everybody, keeping up options and relations and everything. I struggled to work with a few people at this tournament because like they liked to talk for like a long time, and then like I couldn't really like talk to others and then come back to talk to them. I think in diplomacy, like it can really advantage you to like talk to an ally, be like, this is probably the plan, but talk to others. Suddenly, new opportunities are there from talking to others. So like you have insight into specific moves, and then you can talk back to your ally and be like, okay, this is the new insight I have. This is what we should do. I struggled to do that with certain players. I enjoy bouncing around more than some people did. So anyhow, I loved working with Karthik. Was really excited early on. I opened pretty traditional here. Karthik agrees that he's going to hold. Karthik's going to do the convoy into Tunis, do the Lepanto thing, get the fleets, start working against Turkey fast. All that seems good. The other lovely thing here is Russia does go to the Black Sea. Turkey chose not to bounce them. Turkey was going to do like Khan into the Aegean, but now they have this Black Sea problem. So It feels like a game where Turkey has to worry about Russia from the north, and if Italy comes through the south, it seems so clean, so good. Um, in the north, up over here, everything's pretty standard. Nothing really to note all that much, except Paris does support themselves into Burgundy. Paris supported themselves into Burgundy is like you're worried about somebody coming to Burgundy, and like yeah, you're making sure that that's not happening. But then, what happens here in the fall? What happens in the fall is I get what I want. I continue to bounce Russia. Turkey is trying to bounce Russia, trying to actually does bounce Russia and is moving around. So like Turkey's moving around to work on Russia. I'm like this underside Italian attack is going to be great. Like it looks good for Karthik and I early. France is doing pretty usual stuff, except does bounce England out of Belgium. Russia gets bounced out of Sweden. Even I'm like, this looks great for Austria, Italy. I'm like, great start. Hardly could ask for better. I build armies. Karthik builds fleets. Karthik does build fleet Rome, which is not fleet Naples. I did honestly don't even remember this. I sort of remember this, but he still goes East Med, but can't put the fleet into the Ionian. I guess is worried about this Greece fleet. I don't know, or we just have an agreement that I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happens, but regardless, we get two fleets next to Smyrna. All seems great. It's fine. It does feel like this would have been better if we could have convoyed an army in, but whatever. In the north, things are looking a little bit bad for England here. Multiple fleets are moving into position. Um, England supports Russia in, but Russia's kind of on the back foot. France is just sending everything at England. Germany is like, everything's pushing that way. So that's, concerning for England, but not really a problem for me. I just kind of played defense here. We managed to mess with Turkey. Here. Turkey does the supported attack thing. This is where working with Karthik was really nice, actually. Karthik got insight. Either this is a good guess or he got sort of told what was happening. I'm not sure, but basically we're like, oh, we just let him walk into Smyrna. He's not backfilling Constantinople. So this is going incredibly well, right? I'm walking into Constantinople. We convoyed Karthik into Greece, so I'm not getting Greece anymore, but I'm picking up Bulgaria Khan. I'm like, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Karthik will build another fleet. I'll build another army. We're rolling. Up here in the north, it's a little bit spooky. Germany predictably gets into Sweden. France is trying to convoy stuff and push pressure on England. England doesn't look long for the world. So that's not great. But yeah, I get to build my army. Karthik builds fleet in Naples. Turkey apparently cares less about defending against us as he's annoyed about Russia. Totally fair. Russia's been kind of the bigger one, but looks great. I start making slight moves this way. This I don't fully remember. This looks like Romania supports Karthik into Bulgaria, and Karthik takes it and destroys my army, which is annoying. I will admit Karthik was not working with me as quite as strongly as I would have liked at various points. But anyhow, to speed this game up from here, you'll note that England, for somebody who's supposedly being attacked by a bunch of people, decides Norway needs to be in Barents Sea, is apparently how he's going to defend himself. This convoy into Liverpool, I mean, I guess what can you do about it? You've allowed it. There's really nothing you can do to block it. You're going to die. But anyhow, to hasten this up, this game gets really messed up for meta considerations. England no longer defends themselves because McCallus has already qualified for the final round of the tournament, and he can tell at this point that he's already dying, right? So he doesn't care about this result anymore. Nothing matters. He has a drop round. It's going to be this round. This score does not matter to him. He's slightly on the bubble for making the top 21, which is how you make the championship round. He knows that both Doug Moore and Peter Jurgen have pretty solid results already. So they're people that are likely already in the championship round. I don't know if he knows that I have a good result, but he knows Karthik has a good result. And so anyhow, basically, like, McCallus's incentives at this point of the game are to make sure that Karthik and I don't get another good result and, like, manage to kick him out of the championship round. His incentives are for Doug Moore and Peter Jurgen to do well so that the championship round, like, just gets solidified amongst top players. Totally fair, totally legit. Like, that's what the tournament standings are telling you to do. This is where I just have bad luck, as does Karthik, right? The person who's being attacked and besieged by two players is suddenly no longer going to play any defense and is going to actively help them do well. So unfortunately, these three players are suddenly actually like all acting like one player. That's a huge problem for us down here, correct? And indeed, it's super obnoxious. England starts doing crazy attacks on Russia while his home centers get destroyed. It's not crazy. I mean, again, I understand why he's doing it, but it's ridiculously fast. You'll notice that we already have dead to Baltic. Munich's already heading into Silesia. So, like, Germany's already starting to, like, pretty aggressively start to, like, go to the line and try to go over the line. France is all of a sudden scrambling to, like, get down into these, and that's what we continue to see here in the fall. Like, we are trying to push our units so that we can get across the line. And indeed, seeing this happen, Italy, myself, and Russia agree that we need to work together. So this becomes an air, Austria, Italy, Russia working together against Turkey. Turkey's basically dead, and the three of us are like, we have to stay strong together because otherwise this France England monster is just going to eat us. So we all suddenly come to the line. Now, this is where I'm pretty annoyed for much of the rest of the game and the post game. The guy playing Germany, Doug, continues to, like, pressure me to, like, turn around and make the game interesting. And in his defense, maybe I should have. But he keeps being like, well, you've ran to the line, so I had to. This feels kind of gaslighty to me. Who's running to the line first? Who's forcing the rest of the board to react, or they're going to roll the fucking board? The Germans, right? The Germans are the ones that are already in fall 1903, moving Livonia, moving Galicia, moving Tyrolia. Like, who's forcing the rest of the board to get to the line, and who's denying another side opportunities? Like, the opportunities we're denying France, Germany the ability to eat all of us. Like, I would have loved to continue to do other things here and not have people on my backside, but I feel I have to go defend my backside because armies are already coming in freaking 1903. So, yeah, that was very frustrating, being constantly told that I had moved to the line, forcing Germany to move to the line when it feels pretty reversed. And it feels pretty hard to believe the Germans that if I just left the line, that they would go do other things and not just eat me from behind. So anyhow, the rest of this game feels really forced. There are maybe opportunities right in here. Somewhere in here, like, I could probably, instead of sending all these armies north, I probably could have found an opportunity to, like, maybe eat some Italian centers. But I don't know. Like, if I eat Italy, what's Italy's incentive to not just, like, let the game through? If we try to fight, France and Germany can just eat us. Like, I don't think there's any actual options here. I keep talking with Russia. I keep talking with Italy because, like, Karthik has himself in such a position to stab me if he wants to. Like, it's pretty annoying, but, like, there's very little else that can happen. I will say Karthik's, like, fairly greedy here in that he keeps putting his units, like, he wants to kill Turkey off, which is totally valid. He wants, like, he's not playing that hard a defense yet, while the rest of us are very much doing so. But also, like, I don't, this is where it's hard. Like, if I don't work with him and I try to kill him, I mean, maybe the game gets interesting. I do think the argument at the end of the game is correct, that if I tried to turn on Karthik, like, right around here, I think there's a decent enough chance that Germany's able to eat Russia and decides to focus on them, and France helps me to kill Italy. And rather than Germany, France completely killing me, they probably both push to, like, 14 and then decide to leave me with the remaining, like, 8 centers. because if either of them push too far, they both have to be paranoid about a solo, and they neither of them need that pressure. Both of them having like a 14-14 would be fine. But also, like, me pushing for an 8 center third doesn't do me anything really. It moves me up the standings a bit, but I don't care. The only thing I cared about this round is if I could somehow get a big enough result in order to make the championship pool and stay in contention for the overall tournament. I am Austria here, yeah. So, like, I think there's some arguments that I could have placed better than I did, but I don't think there's any winning lines from what's happening. Again, freaking England is actively has run to the north and is like helping the people that have destroyed him. This is not normal behavior, but again, it's totally reasonable from tournament meta. I like overall tournament standings. I'm not blaming McCullis for playing this way. I play in enough tournaments. It's part of multiplayer tournaments. Like, people are sometimes allowed and incentivized to play for the tournament win rather than the individual game win. But it is always annoying when it's happening. And also, to be fair to Peter and Doug, they made great moves and they moved fast. They've done exactly what I wish I could have done all tournament. Find a freaking ally right from the get-go and just move. Move against your enemies with full force, full attack, and just go. And it is very frustrating to me see how successful it is, because that is what I tried to arrange multiple times, and I'm frustrated by multiple of my would-be allies in this game for not working with me, because I'm a pretty patient ally. I think it would have gone really well. So yeah, it's unfortunate that I was never able to arrange that. Except, I mean, to be fair, I kind of did arrange it this game. I should not be too hard on myself. I think Karthik and I, if we were given another season or so, would have been in a very good position also. Like, I think we were working very well together. I think we would have continued to work well together, but alas. They also have the, why are you just stalemating us at the line? Come on, guys, side of arranging a fast alliance. Correct. I mean, this is what happens when you arrange such a fast alliance, is like the other side of the board sometimes has to stalemate you because otherwise you all die. Like, if Russia, myself, and I, like, if Italy, Austria, Russia don't ally here and force a stalemate line, most of us are getting eaten. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just what happens. Like, this is just what happens when you do this, and alas, it's how it goes. Anyhow, as I speed through this game, basically what winds up happening is Karthik does eventually stab me, because even though he knows it basically can't work and it's just going to kill both of us, Karthik is also at a very similar spot that I am in my overall tournament. Where Karthik has one good result but one bad result, and for Karthik to make the championship round, Karthik needs to... Whoops. This is not what I wanted to click. Anyhow, Karthik needs a strong result, so he decides that... Karthik decides that if... Why can't I get this stupid thing out of my way? There we go. Okay. Anyhow, Karthik decides that... Karthik eventually decides, like, he knows for a fact that he's not getting a good enough result this game to win. And if there's like a 1% chance that stabbing me somehow leads to a result for him, he decides he has to take it. And so, like, we keep playing a bunch of seasons, but here's finally the stab. He stabs me here. Like, multiple draw votes were declined. He's been declining draw votes in order to, like, eventually do this. I could have maybe defended against it more, but, like, whatever. I can barely care. Like, he's going to try his best, but Russia's agreed to throw the game to Germany. And, like, if either of us get stabbed, we've both agreed that we're going to throw. So I am a little annoyed at Russia here in that Russia mostly retreats to help defend me, but doesn't really. Like, Moscow probably should be going to Ukraine rather than Sevastopol, Livonia. I guess it's fine. Whatever. Russia mostly agrees, but he eventually kind of stops attacking Italy somewhere around here. Around here he goes to Armenia, like, rather than holding and trying to take more off Italy. Germany's just eating all of our dots, though. I mean, Germany's getting so many rewards from all of this. France is picking up a few rewards. It's all collapsing around Karthik. It's exactly what was predicted. It's what Karthik knew would happen in his defense, and the draw is agreed to here because Karthik accepts that obviously nothing is going to happen. France and Germany wind up picking up a few more centers, and they tie at 11. I can't really blame Karthik for trying the only move he had, which was stab me and hope that somehow the game went in his direction, but it was basically all losing for us pretty freaking fast. The only thing that would have maybe been able to win is if somehow if somehow we could interrupt the France-German alliance, but God, I don't know. They were allied so fast, so quickly. It was hard to be in a position to offer either of them a legit opportunity to turn on the other in a way that they wanted to take. This is the downside sometimes of doing these fast alliances and trying to rush across the line. Is the games can get pretty stalematy and dry, and that's kind of what happened here. They allied fast, the board responded, and it led to a pretty bleh fast draw state. But it worked for them. Still worked for them just fine. So yeah. All right, final round. Final round is called a team tournament. It was kind of fun. I agreed to be Austria because, again, I'm a glutton for punishment, but I also kind of enjoy playing Austria. I went up on a table with enough nice people, but I'm going to speed through this game. This game was very frustrating because nobody would be my friend. Nobody would be my friend, so just a fast death is Austria. Italy talked like they were going to be my friend, and it was going to be good. Turkey talked like they were going to be my friend, and it was going to be good. Russia admittedly never was Russia never really promised me anything. We were going to wait and see. But already in fall, it's really annoying. Venice misorders. Venice is obviously supposed to go to Trieste here. But even if Venice had gone to Trieste, I moved there, so it really didn't matter. I protected myself, but Italy tries to convoy into Greece with German support. I obviously try to go to Greece with my own support, so we wind up bouncing. Turkey is working pretty smoothly here with Russia, so in my opinion, if I'm Italy, this is alarm bell territory. Turkey has already moved to the Aegean. Neither of them have Russia has not gone to the Black Sea. This looks very juggernauty. If I'm Italy, I am not on board with this. But this Italian player was on board with it. They were gonna eat me fast, and apparently we're just gonna make it go well. The three-way attack on Austria works horribly for Italy. I agree. I'm with you, Civ. I don't know. I tried to talk to Italy and be like, hey, let's work. I'll admit during this next phase, it's kind of annoying. Both Italy and Turkey tell me they want my fleet in Greece, and they're going to support that. My instincts were that it was a trap. My instincts were that they wanted me to clear Albania because they wanted to convoy into Albania. I should have listened to my instincts, but also the same thing was going through my head of if Austria and Italy if Turkey and Italy are both lying to me and Russia is not agreeing to any actual defense of me, everybody's killing me anyhow. So either I can I can try to call their attack and survive slightly longer and hope the game shakes up, which is a totally valid tactic, or I can hope one of them is actually being honest and wants to work with me going forward. I decide that I hope one of them is going to be honest and wants to work with me going forward. But of course, they're lying. Apulia gets convoyed into Albania, then I free up, and indeed, Turkey, Italy are working together. Now, admittedly, Russia is actually not working that closely with Turkey, which is a bit weird, but I make it very clear to Italy that I am throwing as many centers Russia's way as possible. I am not letting Italy get centers. Italy has been belligerently against me from the get-go. Moved into Trieste multiple times in the fall, has been freaking convoying shit over into my area. I'm I want Italy to die this game. I start talking to France. I'm build some freaking fleets, attack Italy from the backside. Let's go. I'm very vindictive about this. Nobody gave me a lick of a chance this game. which again, I signed up for Austria. Like this is what happens sometimes, but I'm I'm not convinced this is going to end well for any of these players. In fact, I tell many of them that I don't think it's ending well for them. You'll also notice that like this is another pretty fast France Germany against an England that's just getting rocked. It's winter 1902. There's already an army on London. England's already down to 2 units, one of which is an army. Like France, Germany are clearly going to come, and they're coming fast. Russia's also doing pretty well in the north. What are the three of us doing dicking around in the south? Like the Austria-Italy inherent tension is dwarfed by the tension both have with Turkey. I tend to agree, right? Like, if I really wish that we had been working against Turkey. Like, I think that could have been an interesting game. But anyhow, once again, we're on a board where we're going to have a fast France-Germany. This one at least has a Russia in the north that's going to hold them back a bit. But France-Germany is working well together. I'm asking Germany for any support that they can maybe lend me in holding this together, but Germany's doesn't really care. And to be fair, why should they? So yeah, they don't bother anything with Tiroli or any of that. Italy starts trying to sort of worry about the fact that France is going to come. I do my best defense and again active defense, but like they're getting in position. Turkey is trying to now attack. Like it's Italy, Turkey are trying to work together in their defense because Russia's not really on anybody's side. But yeah, this is just a total mess. Again, I have no allies. I'm able to make decent defensive moves. Again, it turns out that I hold on to 3 supply centers here. Like, if anybody decides to turn and work with me, like, I still have a little bit of life at this point. I've not been completely killed out of this game, but I just can't find allies. Nobody agrees to be working with me. I'd still rather Russia have my centers than anybody else, but like I start to go down here. Like I'm down to 1 center after this phase. France, Germany have completely wiped out England. Germany's making huge progress in the north. Russia's like still just killing me, but I'm like Russia, you have no allies, right? Like France is up here, Germany's up here. Like they're coming. Turkey's attacking you. Like why? Why can we not work together cleaner? But in Russia's defense, they don't really need me either. I try pointing out to Turkey, Italy that they're losing. Like they're just flat out losing. This is a flat out losing path, but none of it matters. Again, I'm gonna speed. Oh, I shouldn't speed through this part. Sorry. I'm expecting that I'm totally dead. Right. I have a unit in Vienna, but it's winter 1904. I'm gonna die in 1905. You're just popping back in. This is game 4. This is the last game. Anyhow, I'm totally expecting to die here in 1905, but Russia makes an error. Russia winds up moving their units around and leaving me a retreat into Galicia, and there's a completely undefended Warsaw. So it turns out I do survive in this game longer than I should. I wind up getting Warsaw in fall of 1905. Again, I wanted to work with Russia. I'm relatively happy that Russia has more of my centers than the other players, but I'm also a diplomacy player. Like, if you leave me an open retreat and an open center, I'm gonna take it. I'm still mad at all of you, ultimately. Russia's not given me shit this game. Nobody gave me shit, so, like, I'm gonna just be the most annoying person I can be. I think I wind up surviving. Like, I wind up in Galicia here, but I think I wind up surviving another season because people help me into Romania. Yeah, Turkey helps me into Romania because Turkey needs my help in order to annoy Russia some more. But I'm obviously not going to support Turkey, so I'll be as long as people are letting me stay alive. Like, I'll take the opportunity. This is the season where hilarious things almost happen. It is so close. I think it's this season, right? Yeah, it's this season. It's so close. If Turkey didn't order to Budapest here, I mean, they kind of had to cut support, but like, I'm picking up Romania, and there was like almost chances that Vienna or Budapest got left open, and I actually would have got to build, which would have been, or Vienna has to get left open because I still control Vienna at the moment. Yeah, okay. I mean, admittedly, Russia does the like southbound thing, so for Vienna to be left open was unlikely. But I had mild dreams that somehow Vienna was going to be left open and I'd get a build. But um, I'm finally destroyed here in spring 1907. Yeah, I'm finally destroyed, completely gone. Romania's gone. I'm dead. And after killing me, the table agrees to a draw. Germany's at 10, Russia's at 8, France is at 7, Italy's at 6, Turkey's at 3. So the people that killed me, Italy and Turkey, I'd claim Italy, Turkey are the ones that killed me. They're taking 4th and 5th place. Russia got the best out of killing me, but also like I helped them the most. Also, if this game continues, I suspect Russia is the one that's losing dots. So I think it was somewhat fortunate for them that the table didn't want to keep playing. Oh, actually, wait, no, wait. Oh, sorry, I'm getting things messed up in my mind. Round 4 is the only round that is actually. This is the other. This is the other reason that I hated what Turkey and Italy were doing. Round 4 is the only timed round. We didn't know the exact end point, but we knew the game had to end like within a 2-hour period. We essentially knew we were playing the game till 1906 or 1907 or 1908. Like that's essentially what we knew. So we also knew this round was a round that you had to grow relatively fast. Like you needed to be on top of the board by like 6, 7, 8. Like that's what we were scoring. Like you were gonna literally run out of time. Like in this game, this was not an untimed round. So I think a lot of what Italy and Turkey were doing was just not fast enough for a game that you might only have till the end of 1907, and indeed you did only have till the end of 1907. This game was called on time. Like nobody could continue playing. So yeah. Anyhow, so that was a very frustrating round. Getting totally killed by all 3 of your neighbors is annoying, but I mean, it does happen to Austria. It's part of the risk. I couldn't convince anybody to work with me. I once again don't really know why I couldn't convince anybody to work with me. Like Italy was like, you made reasonable pitches. Like we could have worked together. It was just like they chose not to. Like I don't know, right? This is the vagaries of diplomacy of like. I guess I have to work a little better at trying to like really point out to people why I think they're like not making the right moves and why they should work with me. But like they don't have to listen. Like people are allowed to make choices. Like clearly, I think this was bad for somebody. I think it. I don't know. I mean, when you wind up in 5th and 4th place, I think you have to analyze if you made the right choices to like kill your neighbor. But alas, that's how it goes. What's my preferred strategies, Austria? I mean, stay alive, right? I mean, fundamentally stay alive. But I think Austria and Italy should often team up and work against Turkey. I think both Austria and Italy have reasonable reasons to do that. But really, as Austria, I want friends. I just want I could work. Austria Russia could be a pretty good alliance. Austria Russia, like Austria, you get some help killing Turkey with Russia, and then Austria can work against Italy while Russia can work against like the North. Austria and Russia can work against Germany. Like you can just kind of hold Italy off. Like it's very possible for like Austria Russia to like get most of the rewards from killing Turkey and basically just let Italy be a Italy can basically just sit on 4 centers and do nothing. It's relatively easy enough to just kind of trap them and be like, yeah, you do whatever. I'm going to ignore you. We're going to kill Turkey. We're going to kill Germany. Like, you just sit there and I'll eventually wait for France to, like, collapse you. All of that's viable as Austria. I will admit, like, that is the kind of tough part about playing Austria is, like, you want somebody to be your friend, but also, like, it's a little bit nerve-wracking for all of your neighbors to be your friends because the main way Austria does well is to kind of eat all their neighbors. So there is this really uneasy balance. But also, like, if all 3 rapidly kill Austria, it's often a mistake for one of them. Like one of them wants a friend to help them out, or like one of them is doing better than the others and should be doing something else. But it's hard in real time to always know that, and it's tempting to just get fast growth. So alas. Anyhow, you heard a thing that Austria is awful at low level of play, completely fine at medium, and then at very high meta level, it's awful time again. I mean, that could maybe be true, but like in the past week, I've kind of got the diplomacy bug again, and I've kind of been watching a bunch of high level play. But I will admit this tournament weekend, something like 50 to 60% of Austria's got eliminated. I do think that's basically the story of Austria, though. I think Austria basically gets eliminated, or they have a solid result. Austria is not very often one of these like 4 or 5 center countries at the end of the game. Austria has either grown big enough that it's just going to survive and it's going to be at least like 8+ centers at the end of the game, or Austria is going to be eliminated at some point. Like, there's not a lot of games where your like 4 center Austria just kind of gets to dirtle around for the whole game. That's not really a thing that happens. So that part is always tricky, but Austria frequently dies second after Turkey at the high level. Yeah, Austria dies a lot. To be fair, it is a thing I signed up for. So your last game in this quarter was with Russia, and we did that. You wiped out Austria, but EF ended up way too powerful. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I honestly don't play enough to always know either. I honestly find it harder to play in the East than the West. I think that's just somewhat true, but I kind of like playing Austria again. It's fun. There's a lot of like neighbors and some stuff you can try, um, but yeah, I think it's easier playing the Western powers. I mean, the Western powers have more neutrals around them, and it's also easier like it's easier to team up with one person and kill the other fast. The West has this kind of issue of like 4 powers, and so like it's harder to like kill some of them fast. There's less neutrals going around, so you have to like fight each other faster. I don't know. I think I'm worse. I do think I'm worse at playing Western powers than Eastern ones. Or I said that. I said that in reverse, but um, anyhow, whatever. I had fun. I'm gonna keep trying to play a little more diplomacy again. It's a good time. There's some virtual like online games that I've got told about that have some leagues. So I'm gonna try to give those a go, and yeah, I'll probably try to head to Chicago for the North American DipCon here later. So that'll all be fun. Um, anyhow, yeah, I found it useful to think through these games again and talk through them a bit. I think there were some useful lessons in some of them. In other games like this one, I don't know that there was a lot that I could have done in this one. Like some games you do just get killed, and that's how it goes. But yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing tournament because like I don't think I was often in positions to have particularly interesting decisions. I was like certainly almost never in position to like decide if I should stab an ally. I just struggled to find allies and grow and get into good positions. But that's kind of what you'd expect at a very high level diplomacy tournament. Is like it's hard to get in those spots. You have to convince people, and I failed to do that on some level through again some level of skill and I think some level of luck. Like there's also kind of inherently a bit of luck here and like how things break. Again, like round 3 was just kind of unlucky. Like super strong players were set next to each other and allowed to work together, and the third strong player in that trio decided at a certain point that it was better to just kind of throw than actually fight for real, and that's just weird. So um, certainly it's kind of unlucky that I wound up at that board at all, right? Like why in round 3 of this tournament am I getting placed at a board that has 2 former World DipCon champs and has 2 other top face-to-face players? Like, I mean, my God, like whatever. It happens. It's part of the fun of going to these tournaments though. Like, to be fair, part of why I love going to tournament gaming conventions and stuff is like it is fun to play against the best and see how they do. Like, see what they're doing, see how they're playing, see how they go. And so on that level, like it was quite a treat in round 3 to just wind up at a table of like very strong players and just see how it goes, and see what some of them are doing, see how some of them negotiate and how they work. So yeah, but yeah, I wish I had slightly more opportunities that I was given at WDC. It would have been fun to actually have a little bit more power and a little bit more say in some games, to actually have a few more options. I was often besieged pretty early from my neighbors, so I guess it's the thing I got to work on trying to really hook people early into why they should work with me. But again, going back to game 1 though, like I supported a neighbor early on. I supported Italy into Munich. I'm like, how is this not buying friendship? What more do you want from me? I've said a lot of nice things. I've done everything I said I would. I don't know. It's just sometimes it's just not your day. But yeah. Anyhow, thanks all for who actually enjoyed hanging out and chatting through this. Hopefully it was somewhat useful. Hopefully when I upload this, I don't know if I'll video edit it or it'll just be in two parts. But yeah, sorry for the weird like stream going down and having to restart. My computer was funky, but anyhow, that wound up being a bit longer than I wanted overall, but not shocking. Not shocking with me that I've talked longer than I meant to. So thanks all for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. I'm hoping later this weekend to actually get an Agricola stream in at least. I'd like to get an Agricola game in, but yeah, that's all I got now for the diplomacy life. Diplomacy. Diplomacy at WDC didn't quite go my way. Although, also, a thing that I have to keep reminding myself is I keep saying WDC didn't go my way. And that's true to an extent, right? I mean, 66th out of 100-some person fields, still, like, not that bad. And also, like, strong players don't always, like, strong players can have bad tournaments. Like, again, Justin Lore is pretty good. He's been on some like top board situations. He's right below me. Like there are some very good players like just a little above me and around me. Like it's just how it goes. Like you can't always have good tournaments. And again, I'm certainly not as good as these best players anyhow. So a combo of being a little bit worse than many of these players, and I think being a bit unlucky compared to many of these players. And I don't think the end result's all that shocking. So, yeah. All right. Thanks all for hanging out. Not as bad as Diplostrats. Yeah, I forget the name of... I forget who actually runs Diplostrats. You apparently know. I don't immediately recognize Diplostrats' name. But... Oh, not as bad as Diplostrats in timing. In timing, sorry. That's what you meant. Gotcha. That's true. I will admit, as I've watched a few diplomacy videos this week, I do think people analyze the games possibly just a little too much. I would appreciate slightly faster analysis sometimes, but going in depth is good too. So I don't know. Anyhow, thanks for the stream. Always fun to analyze. Yeah, it's fun to analyze diplomacy. Diplomacy players like you to yap. Shocker. Yeah. Yeah, admittedly, that's the other problem of why I like diplomacy, right? Like, we just get to yap a lot. You get to, like, the entire point of the game is just to freaking talk a ton, so. Short and sweet video station. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, at the start of this video, I claimed, like, it was going to be roughly an hour of me talking about my WDC experience and analyzing games, and here we are, like, almost 2 hours in, so. You know, again, as Lumen has the pithy and good comment of diplomacy players liking to yap, shocker. So we should leave on that because that really sums up what's happening here. And yeah, hopefully later this weekend I'll find a little time to stream Agricola again or something because that'd be fun. So, but yeah, thanks all for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. I'm gonna head off now. See y'all around later.